I'm Daniel Mamadou Blanco. I'm the Managing Director. Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for joining us today. So I'm excited to discuss energy transition minerals, our Kvanefjeld project, and why we believe that the next phase is going to unlock significant value for our shareholders. Right? We're at a critical moment. We've got a global race for rare earth, which is intensifying, and more importantly, Greenland, which is where our project is located, is becoming more strategically relevant. And I think at the same time, political shifts are aligning in our favor. Right. Let's talk about ETM. Let's talk about our legal battle and also the key catalysts ahead. Right? The cornerstone of our company is the Kvanefjeld project. This is one of the world's most significant undeveloped rare earth projects, with over 1 billion-ton resource at 1.1% total rare earth oxides. The project is located in the southern part of Greenland, and the license was originally granted in 2007. Exploration activities started in 2010 and were conducted. It generated more than 80,000 meters of drill cores and a total investment of more than $100 million US, and that covered only 20% of our license area. We had a 2012 JORC report, which I have to say now it has expired, but at the time it delineated 143 million tons of reserves at 1.21% REO, 308 million tons in the indicated category at 1.11%, and the balance in the inferred category. That is a mine life of 37 years. The company conducted environmental impact assessment studies between 2015 and 2017. The EIA and the SIA were approved for public consultation in 2020. And the company cooperated closely with the various Greenlandic governments well over a decade. And in 2021, the Uranium Act was introduced in December that year, which coincided with my entry into the company. Kvanefjeld is uniquely positioned in Greenland. It's in the southern part of Greenland, in Narsak. You've got year-round shipping. It's got some proximity to both European and North American markets. Essentially, it's one of the few deposits outside of China that can provide the critical minerals like neodymium, praseodymium, which are key to the manufacturing of permanent magnets, which equip electric vehicles, wind turbines, and so on and so forth, defense technologies. And despite the setback due to the introduction of the Uranium Act, which led to the Greenlandic government rejecting our exploitation license, we remain firm in our position that we have the legal right to develop this project. Greenland. Now, let's talk a little bit about Greenland, right? It's been on the radar of the US for some time, actually, for a few decades, right? From Truman's $100 million offer in 1946 to the renewed push in 2019 by the Trump administration, it's clear that the US always understood the immense strategic value of Greenland. Now, under Trump's new administration, Greenland's become a hot topic again, right? And they recognize the importance in the battle for rare earth and the geographical advantage in global security. Just last month, as a matter of fact, Republican lawmakers introduced the Make Greenland Great Again Act to explore purchasing Greenland formally. And that's a major development for ETM because the US wants reliable rare earth sources that aren't controlled by China. And if the US increases its investment in Greenland, the pressure on the local government to support mining projects like ours is only going to grow. Now, this is what I think is the most important slide of the pitch, which is basically our stock saw positive momentum during Trump's first term, and after his re-election in 2024, our share price again jumped significantly. Right? The slide highlights the share price performance over the past decade, with red denoting periods under the Trump administration and blue representing democratic leadership. So there's a clear, strong positive correlation between pro-business, resource-friendly policies and our share price. And that's because Trump's policies prioritize domestic rare earth supply chains and that makes Kvanefjeld a strategic asset in the broader US push to reduce dependence on China. And if his administration takes further steps to invest in Greenland's development, we stand to benefit significantly. We've got 1.4 billion shares on issue. We've got a market cap of $120 million Australian. We've got a strong cash position with $20 million, and we've got no debt. And so as an ASX stock, ETM offers what is, in my opinion, the most asymmetric investment opportunity on a risk-adjusted return basis, because it combines significant upside from geopolitical tailwinds and the increasing global demand for critical minerals. It positions us as a strategic player in the energy transition. Greenlanders are headed to the poles on the 13th of March, so that's in about 2 weeks from now. And this is a turning point we've been waiting for. The current government in Greenland has been hostile towards mining, despite their various statements to the contrary. Right? And if we see a shift in leadership, we could have a more business-friendly administration that will be willing to support resource development. And if that happens, that's a major catalyst for Kvanefjeld. It potentially opens the door for a revaluation of our license application and would trigger a re-rating of our market cap. So we are closely monitoring the political landscape and engaging with key stakeholders. You know, we are positioning ourselves favorably for any policy shifts. We've also strengthened the leadership team and the board to navigate this challenging environment. Julie Bishop is a former Australian foreign minister. She joined as an advisor to the board. She brings, obviously, diplomatic expertise, international connections, and she's skilled at conflict resolution as we engage with Greenlandic and Danish authorities. Importantly, she's got experience in dealing with the Trump administration, having served at the same time. Simon Kidston was appointed non-executive chairman 8 months ago. He's got a strong background in mining and finance, and he's been guiding us through this critical phase. Sven Hardenberg is an Inuit and a former official in the Greenlandic government. He's now our general manager in Greenland. He's got a deep knowledge of local politics and regulatory frameworks, which is going to be key for us to secure a positive outcome. Not on the pictures, we've also got Sarah Kelly, who's an executive director. She's an experienced corporate lawyer. She's focused on managing our legal strategy across multiple fronts and ensuring seamless coordination with our legal advisors to protect and advance our interests. We've got Mark Saxon, who's a non-executive director. He's got a track record in making significant discoveries, and he's an expert in the geology of rare earth. And we've got Jamil Sader, who's here today. He's an experienced technical advisor skilled in geochemistry and metallurgy of rare earth. Right? So our team is built for the challenges ahead, and these challenges require legal, financial, and political experience. Let's talk about the legal battle and where we stand. Right? So as I mentioned earlier, we're actively fighting for our right to develop the Kvanefjeld project. In 2021, the Uranium Act was incorporated. And in 2023, after several months of discussions with the Greenlandic authorities, we initiated arbitration proceedings in Copenhagen against both the governments of Greenland and Denmark. Okay? We have a statement of claim, several hundred pages long. It's available for anyone who has an interest to deep dive in what I think is a classic case of expropriation by introducing a new law with a retroactive effect on a project that fulfilled every regulatory requirement needed for a mining license under Greenlandic law. We engage Secretariat, which is a Canadian international arbitration and expert witness firm, which has valued independently our project at more than $7.5 billion as part of our statement of claim. And in 2024, we also filed additional lawsuits in Greenlandic and Danish courts to further protect our interests. The arbitration tribunal has ordered a bifurcation process, which means that they will decide jurisdictional issues before the core dispute is addressed, and we expect a decision on this by June 2025. At the end of this overall legal process, if the tribunal rules in our favor, right, the Greenlandic government will be forced to either grant our exploitation license back or compensate us for the project's loss, and this could be a major turning point for the company. We are backed by Burford Capital, which is New York Stock Exchange listed, which is the gold standard in litigation finance, the world's largest provider of commercial legal finance. They've got a track record of winning 93% of the cases in which they deploy capital. Okay. So what's next? Looking ahead, here are some of the key dates. We just returned from Greenland, where we spent a week both in Nuuk, in the capital, but also in Narsak on the project site. You know, I had the opportunity to meet up with the business community in Narsak itself. The CEO of a construction company asking me, when are we expected to start the project so that he can have, you know, a job to deploy his workers. There was the manager of an electrical wiring company who was interested in kind of getting a contract from us. There were also people demonstrating and, you know, showing their discontent to us potentially building a mine there. 11th of March, we've got, 13th of March, we've got the elections. So a pro-mining government could open the doors to our project. In June 2025, we'll have a ruling on our arbitration jurisdiction. So that's the bifurcation process. We would expect that there'd be the first hearings in Greenland in September. And in December, we will be renewing our exploration license. So each of these milestones represent an inflection point for ETM's share price and our strategic position. So this is to say that we're in a unique position. We own one of the largest world largest rare earth assets. Right? US and global demand for rare earth is skyrocketing. The political shifts in Greenland and in the US could work in our favor. We've got a strengthened team built to navigate this complex environment. And the legal battle, while it is challenging, it's got the potential to unlock significant value, irrespective of its outcome. Right? So again, I'll say ETM is one of the most asymmetric play of the ASX at the moment. And we remain focused and strategic and committed to deliver for our shareholders. Right? So the next 12 months are going to be crucial, and we look forward to updating you on our progress. Thank you, and I welcome any questions that you may have.
There's a mic behind you.
Thanks. Daniel, have you noticed any change in your communications in Nuuk and around Narsak? Now you've got Sven on the ground there, because there was a bit of a communication gap there previously before your arrival.
Yes, absolutely. So when the Uranium Act was introduced during the COVID years, and the company had not been able to meaningfully engage locally for a number of months, in fact, a couple of years almost. I joined the company in December. It took us some time to reconnect on the ground, identify the right members of the team. I believe we are very lucky to have managed to enroll Sven. He's Inuit. He's worked with the government. He used to be a politician. Today he's a businessman. He runs a series of businesses. He understands the reality and the locality, the issues of running a business in Greenland today. So to answer your question is, yes, with this new team, and he's been hiring, we've been reconnecting a lot in a much more meaningful way than before. Yeah.
Sorry, one more question.
Sure.
We spoke a bit earlier about the Western world's desire to become involved in downstream rare earth processing. So do you think this represents an opportunity for the West to not necessarily compete with China, but provide an alternative source?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I think there are a number of projects, upstream projects, but what is also important is to have a meaningful midstream presence, and today that is being developed outside of China. 10 years ago, it didn't really exist, right? So I think it's a well-known fact that about 94% of rare earth ores are all processed in China. But we do expect that in the next 3 to 5 years, we'll see conversion capacity emerging in Texas, in some parts of Central Europe, potentially Western Europe as well. And this is where an asset like Kvanefjeld could actually be supplying into. Yeah.
Any other questions? Daniel, I have one. That exploration license that gets renewed at the end of the year, how long is that valid for?
So it is typically valid for periods of 3 years. We've been, renewing this exploration license ever since the beginning, right? And due to the fact that there is a legal process ongoing, we can't really lose it, so to speak, until there's a final decision anyways, right? Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Okay, well, thank you, Daniel.
Thank you.